begun. So my name is Desmond. So I'm the leader for our group for the project proposal for the design and the sizing for the grid-connected solar PV system at Mahindarama Buddhist temple. So these are my team members. So the second person, Lee Yishen, that's him. Yu Yin Sun, Tong Kok Chun, yes, and Ling Pek Wan.
Welcome.
First time, sorry. So what we're going to present today would include the complete specifications for our proposed GCPV system, the total cost required, the estimated total cost required, the expected return on investment, the advantages, some government initiative schemes that can benefit the stakeholders, and also other necessary information. So it's just an introduction. So this project focuses on the design and the feasibility assessment for the GCPV system at Mahindarama Buddhist temple, so which is located in Georgetown. So it is conducted as a part of our renewable energy course at University Malaysia Perlis and under the Sulam program. So this study aims to promote sustainable energy adoption within community spaces. So by leveraging this site-specific meteorological data and optimized system design, and also some financial analysis, the project aims to demonstrate how the solar energy can reduce the electricity costs, minimize carbon emissions, and also support Malaysia's clean energy growth. So the proposed location for our GCPV system is on top of the lecture hall. So around this is the Mahindarama Buddhist temple and the lecture hall. And so based on some initial calculations, so to install the GCPV system, there are a few different constraints that we need to consider. So we calculated the different based on each constraint, the maximum number of solar PV modules that we can install based on that constraint. So based on the architectural constraint, which is the area of the roof itself, a maximum of 90 can be installed. But however, we can see based on the other constraints, we have to take the lowest number because all the constraints must be factored in. So based on that, and so we calculated the highest number of units of solar PV modules can be installed is 60. So next,
I'm going to talk about how I'm going to select the PVs and the inverter design. So for the PV, I'll actually choose the future solar E-type, which is 525 watt per unit. And for the inverter, we're going for the Hitachi brand grid-type solar stream inverter, which is 4.4K. Okay, these are the inverters punya data sheet. So you can look at it. So this will be the solar PV and this will be the inverter. Okay, so based on the calculations, we can actually, at the end, we only need one inverter because one inverter, after some calculations, the solar PV we need is 16, right? And then we calculate the inverter can actually handle 19 solar PV. So actually one inverter is enough. And then one inverter, there's actually one MPPT, which is maximum power point tracking system. And for each MPPT, we can have 8 modules each. So, this is the cost analysis for estimated cost for the entire project. So, the solar PV will actually cost 378 per unit, and the inverter will actually cost 3,200 per unit. So, and some other smaller components, the total up will sum up to 54,905 unit for the entire project estimation.
So when we talk about solar PV, the main thing that we need to do is saving money. Right? So first of all, when we implement the solar PV, we will think about the expected energy saving. So when we do the solar PV, we expected 70% of the energy is come from the solar PV. So when we total up the total electricity energies, and then we divide by 12 months, then we get the energy of each month, and then we times it 70%, because the 70% is come from the solar PV. So we get 10612 kilowatt hours. So because we are using commercial, that's why the tariff, we using tariff B, where the energy cost is 0.509 per kilowatt hours. So therefore, we using the calculation where 10612 times this tariff bill, then we get 5401.51 ringgit. So this is the price that we will save when we implement the solar PV. So the total cost is like just now we share the cost analysis. The total is 54905.22. So divided by our expected saving. So we get 10.16 years, which is equal to 10 years and 2 months. So when we talk about the solar PV, of course there will be a lot of advantage, right? So there will be two different types of advantage. The first one is tangible advantage. Second one is intangible advantage. So for tangible advantage, it's reduce electricity bill, and then increase the property value, because when we install the solar PV, of course the price of the house will be increased. So then low maintenance cost, because for our solar PV, the lifespan is 30 years for the solar PV that we use, and then because they got a lot of government incentive as well. So later we will talk more about the government incentive. So for the intangible advantage, which is the environment impact, because nowadays most of the energy is come from the fossil fuel, right? So but we try to improve it by implement the solar PV system. So it will be reduce the environment impact, and then is energy independence, and then lastly is support the corporate social responsibility goals. So just now I say that the government initiative scheme, which is NEM 3.0. So in Malaysia's government, the initiative that allow people to install solar panel on their homes or business and sell extra energy back to the TMB. So in the simple word, you can put the solar energy at your own roof, and then you use the electricity from the sun for your own use. Then if you make more electricity, then you can send it back to the TMB grid, then you get the money. So yeah. So after we complete all the cost analysis and the solar PV and the inverter that we need to use, so we come out of one line diagram where how they install. So like just now we say like the MPPT, each of the MPPT will connect 8 number of solar PV. So the 8 number of solar PV will be connected in series. So here is 1 to 8. So because our total solar PV is 16, right? So if you divide by 2, 8 here series, 8 here also 8. So it plus becomes 16. Yeah. So thank you so much.
So maybe we are open to any questions that you must have for our proposal.
Return of investment, how long? 10 years, 10.2 months.
10 years and 2 months, yes. So this is based on the initial investment that we have made. So after that, will be so how much is saving in terms of electricity bills. So and how long will that take to recoup the initial investment? So it's around 10 years, and then since the life expectancy of the solar panel is 30 years based on the Hitachi as the brand that we have chosen. So there will be an additional 20 years where if you make a profit.
How about maintenance?
Oh, okay. Maintenance. Somebody has mentioned.
Oh, okay. Because for the solar PV, of course it will be annual degradation, but the annual degradation for the solar PV is not too high. It's like 0.1% every year. So normally it's not too big issues. And then one more I would say is just now when we talk about 10 years back for the ROI. So basically for every year we will save about 5,000 plus for the price for the electricity bill. So normally for 10 years it's like 50,000. Yeah. So the ROI is 10 years, right? So another 20 years you will save much more than like 100,000 for the electricity bill.
Maybe this one we need to find outside source because we are not in charge of the maintenance. Maybe we need to consider about the maintenance fee as well. Maybe we need to consider this as an extra expenses for the country for this project. maybe because we are not in charge of the maintenance of this project, so maybe we find other sources to practice data. So maybe the ROI will be longer than if we consider the maintenance cycle.
The maintenance, which I think will mostly just be the labor cost. So it would be like cleaning the solar PV in case after a long time, right, it will collect dust. Yeah. So cleaning the PV and then maybe checking on the inverter and also the solar PV system, making sure they are not faulty, right? So they're operating smoothly. So it's mostly just the labor cost. It should be around, I think, a few hundreds. Right? So maybe
more maintenance free in a sense. Maybe 2 or 3 years check once.
yes,
yes,
around
yeah.
2 or 3 years just once. Yeah,
Check and clean the
Yeah.
solar PV.
Yeah. So it's not that frequent, not to say like every month that you need to.
Talking of the NEM, I understand the government earlier days have been given, but it's still applicable to today. Because I heard that this scheme is no longer available, or still available. Because I heard because I said it's not. There are different package that's being offered by. There are some that will sell back, like you say, or access and sell back. There are certain package is
certain package is like, okay, so the second package is for residential. Mostly now the very famous one, they pay 4,000 ringgit for those residential house where they use the solar PV and install the solar PV at the house. But for commercial, they are using the NEMs frequently.
And if not mistaken, recently I just checked, the NEM is still available until June this year.
Oh, and so it's very close.
Yeah, it's very close, but it's still available. I don't know if the government is going to update this very soon. Maybe they're going to prolong this, but this one is up to them.
If you ever want to design a solar PV system, or already is it within the budget that you guys might expect around 50,000 for initial? If you guys ever,
I think we can't determine at this moment, but now go back to the expo. Consider the whole whether it's feasibility.
Then this time we may not be around.
And yes, we talk about short term at the moment.
3 or 5 years, then
So we have to consider this option whether it's okay or not okay. Then of course the availability of the space, whether it can be done here or done. So maybe we could consider the other side or the other side. We have to consider all this.
the package or installation inclusive of installation.
It's inclusive, it's cabling. The cabling,
Wiring.
some cabling is about 20,000 plus, 30,000 plus. That's a cable. Is this a cable or does it include all in?
so this is just for materials pricing.
Labor.
Labor.
Not really.
Okay. That's the cost analysis of 54K. But it's still fair, I believe it's still fair. Still fair. The cost.
Costing.
Actually,
Cable, maybe we did a mistake.
cable,
Actually, something not right. The cable can be 36,000. Is it correct now? Maybe 3,006. 36 become a big sum from the
yeah.
so you reduce it to 3,000, you won't give it 4,000. You only, I think, should be
Maybe
acceptable. Maybe
additional zero.
You can say like this needs to already include all the labor fee. Let's say we 36,000, we already include all
Could
the
be but you need to verify.
But if you let's say you less 10,
Most people cannot be
less than
I will be one
the 20,000 then it's quite
365.
feasible lah.
Could be a bit high.
So it is, I think there's an error here.
So you
Should be
should
just this one times this one and not times.
Because every 100 liters is 365 liters, so we just multiply. Just need 4. 365
So to be 4.
So it's
to reduce substantially.
Yeah.
So maybe you revise that.
Maybe the amount will be lesser.
It's much lesser.
Maybe
Because I see the cost
30,000, no?
the solar panel is 6,000,
Yes.
cable cannot be 36 or down.
Definitely.
So there's an error there.
This time.
So you less out, what will it be? 54, let's say 55 minus 30.
30, 20, 24.
So 30 plus is acceptable.
Reasonable lah.
36,000.
Add back 4,000.
Okay, so we give it around.
So it will actually be much lesser.
Less than
Only
20,000
90,000.
20,000 is fair lah. 20,000 means you take 5 years to return.
Yes. ROI will be much
More or less.
less.
You
Yeah.
look at 20,000, I think it's fair lah. 4 years we take back. Then
This is 10 years now.
3 years. There's the rest of
3
16 years.
3.6 years.
3 years and 8 months.
average of 4 years. It could be less than that. Savings will be more. Utilization tend to want to increase. Then it over the year. But can this sharing be shared not to other place? Whereby if we utilize this system, the maximum generator is that much only, is it? Correct? The PM, the energy generated using this panel, how many units?
Normally we fix for 70%.
Yeah, we try to save
70%
of
of
the
the bill.
bill.
Oh, so means you may have to implement it on another building, another lab, another 16 panel, something like that, so that you generate from the other side. What means, let's say the utilization present is 400 RM, correct? So here generate based on 30%. But if let's say usage is lower, 200, that excess you can utilize for other.
The excess that is saved is actually being sent back to the DMB grid. So based on that, the excess that is sent back, you will gain some credits where you can get the money back, or they reduce the electricity bills.
Okay.
So it can't be shared.
Can be shared.
Basically, when we do the solar PV, right, so we will fix like 70%. But of course, when the customer require, it's higher, like 90% also can, but the price is totally much more expensive.
So based on
Yeah. But basically, it's 70%.
Maybe
Cosmetic and maintenance. That's right, maintenance.
What is the
yearly maintain or
what is the estimate
by 10 years or something?
Actually, normally it's yearly.
yearly cost? So maybe you can find out what's the estimated yearly service.
Service.
Then you can book in as a part of the cost.
So maybe around 20 plus. Okay lah. But 40 something, 50 something is higher end.
Higher.
Maintenance free.
Because anybody can maintain. Oh, we need
Specialized electrician only can.
electrician or no anybody.
Technician or
Technician.
Or I just go and clean the panel
The inverter cost will be another issue. The durability of the inverter. Because inverter is the main part of the system. To convert inverter in down, then you can have the inverter will convert.
Any warranty?
Yes. The products all have warranty.
How long? 1 year? 5 years? How long?
So
That one, because we just received the data sheet, so we need to have more information on the product itself, then we might need to get a quote.
estimated lah.
Estimate lah. Because at least because people will want to feel comfortable after they. Okay, 1 month, invest in 1 month later.
There's also a contract to be signed. Contract to be signed with the relevant party, maybe PMB.
Yes, of course, with the previous
supplier of the supply, the solar contract, what's the agreement like? So this will be put in the part of the package.
So
That's what I understand.
now maybe they do take back the extra excess of the.
Excess of the, yes, they
Yeah, that's all.
Yes,
That's why I say that maybe there's a different package now.
different
Yeah,
package.
so they will differentiate like residential, commercial, they different benefits.
Different.
There are some where you need to, when you want to sell back, some people they install this because they want to sell electricity back to TMD to make a profit. So based on that, there are some agreements and contracts that you might need to sign so that you need to maintain such the generation meets their demand. So you cannot send excess back to them, or you cannot go below their demand by DNB. So if that happens, usually DNB they have a fining system. They will fine you for the excess or the not meeting that.
That maybe you want to sell or what?
Let's say you declare like you could supply back to DNB 1 megawatt of power, and maybe if you go above that, or you do not meet the demand, means that it will cause like a fluctuation in the electricity supply to the other people. So based on they have fines.
One more thing I want to say is, okay, so because like just now we say when we produce more energy, right, we can sell it to the DNB, right? So it's not only for solar energy. It's because they got a lot of renewable energy, like solar energies, wind energies, like wind and hydro energy. But in our country, like Malaysia, right, it's summer country, so we are using the solar PV because it's free source, right, the sunlight. That's why solar PV is quite popular now compared to other renewable energies.
This time talk about the package, whether there's an incentive, what incentive that the government offer under the NPN. This time you mentioned about NPN.
Oh,
What package or as you said just now, selling back is one of the incentive.
One of the
At a certain
incentive
rate or something like that.
yes, that's the access loan. But the main benefit based on the package, because it's a commercial building. So the package only allows for, let's say, if you install the solar PV, so you get to save electricity. So that is one.
What about in terms of incentive to install? Maybe you
Install.
install. Okay, the government will give you discount.
1,000.
This one is for residential.
Residential how much? Just for
For maximum is 4,000.
4,000.
But they got certain requirement like how many solar PV that you install.
Oh.
Like
Minimum?
Minimum that I'm not sure, but there will be some specification.
Okay. For standard double story house, standard roof, how much will it be? Just for knowledge sake. Let's say you want to install, or I want to install, what is it applicable?
Actually, they are saying like how many solar PV that you use and then how many energy that you need to produce at the solar PV. So at that time only they determine how much they pay. But maximum that you can claim is 4,000.
Oh, 4,000.
Yes.
For commercial, basically incentive is we paid for factory example is reduce the income tax.
Yes.
Tax given to the householder.
4,000.
4,000.
And then I think electricity bill tariff type will be different already.
The rate,
energy.
the rate,
The rate will be
adjust or lower or higher.
should be lower. There's a different tariff already for green energy, so which is like using renewable energy sources like solar. So you won't receive the regular DNB tariff type for residential. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.